Welcome to the special edition of Times Money Mentor SOS. And we're here with Lloyds Bank's Fraud Prevention Director, Liz Ziegler. Liz, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
So Liz, we asked our social media followers any questions that they might have to do with fraud. And the most common thing that they asked us was, what's the most important thing we can do to protect ourselves from fraud?
So my first thing always is be careful of things that are just too good to be true.
Right, so take that gift horse and look it squarely in the mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. And where you can, always pay by your debit and credit card. And indeed, there's a few other things that I'd suggest everyone does here. So first of all, when you're trying to perhaps buy something online or you're trying to make an investment that you've seen online here, just be careful and look up. Do you trust that site? Do you trust that website? Perhaps you might want to Google it and see what reviews you see. Or indeed, if somebody else has said this is a hoax or this is a scam. But take the time to have a look and do your research. And
don't rush into decisions, don't rush into purchases and things.
Exactly, don't get pressured into making that purchase.
Right, absolutely. So that's kind of in line with how we should think. So what about what we should do? Because we conducted a survey recently with YouGov, and it found that 98% of UK adults take at least one action to protect themselves from fraud. And yet nearly 1 in 3 people have still got scammed. So what should we be doing in terms of actions? Because, only 29% change their passwords regularly and just 15% change up the pins that they use for credit and debit cards.
So it's a really good idea to regularly change your passwords, particularly for things like your banking apps that you might use, or indeed websites that you use to buy things through. So make sure that your details don't easily get stolen or compromised by somebody else.
Right, so this one's a bit old school because, it's all cyber this and digital that, but should we be destroying our paperwork? Because our survey found that less than 2/3 of people do.
We still should keep shredding our paper. The last thing you want to do is leave, details about your bank account or your password even, or your email address, and put it in the recycling bin, because it's going to sit there and somebody could just hoik it out and use it.
Right, so Liz, I'm sure you're a mine of information, but any last tips about things we can do to protect ourselves from fraud?
So above all else, take time to stop, think, and do some checks. Have a look at a website for reviews. See if somebody else has successfully made a purchase, but don't just trust one place.
So really kind of do your research and look around, see what people have said, Google names of companies and see what people have said about them.
Absolutely, and don't be pressured and rushed into making that transfer. It's all too easy to be lured in by somebody saying it's the last one available, quick. You've got to make this purchase now.
Right, resist that temptation to buy into the sense of urgency.
Yeah, absolutely. It will pay just to wait. And when you can, if you do want to make that purchase, I'd strongly suggest you use your debit or credit card.
Liz, thank you so much for your time. I'll let you go back to fighting fraud now. And there's lots for us all to think about in terms of protecting ourselves from fraud and scams when we're online.
Thank you very much.